How did people in old times used to do leisure compared to us? I mean, we've talked a lot about today, but did they used to have a lot of it? Did they used to have very little of it?
Well, so the way that people used to live their lives differed strongly from the way that we live our lives now. So, a long time ago, work itself actually, it was basically from sun up until sundown for the average common working man. You would get up at dawn, and then you would labor in the fields at dusk. Now, it's not that you're constantly moving and constantly doing things for, the 14 hours that the sun is up during the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
Because that day was also broken up by various rituals, various prayers, and various sacrifices, which brings us back to leisure being also necessarily a religious thing. So having
Mm-hmm.
time to pray is also a leisurely thing. Prayer is a form of leisure. So people used to wake up at dawn and they would go to bed at dusk. And then they would sleep through the night. Well, what happens when days get shorter and nights get longer? Well, there is what's called I don't know if this is the official term for it, but it's the medieval sleep cycle,
Okay.
where you get up at dawn and you're awake throughout the day, and then you go to bed at dusk. In the middle of the afternoon, you might take a little nap, an hour or two. And now that is what in Italian and Spanish societies today is riposo or the siesta. Now that has to do with the fact that you have to rest even during the day. So you get up and you work, and then and that's how they do it these today in Spain and in Italy now. They get up basically at dawn and they go to work, but during riposo, nothing happens. The British have tea time. Everybody has their afternoon tea that they're just sitting and they're drinking tea. That is the time of rest during the day. Now that changes in the wintertime because the nights are longer. So when it shifts to the nights being 14 hours, well, we don't need 14 hours of sleep. So what usually happens is you go to bed at dusk and then you wake up in the middle of the night and you're doing stuff for a couple of hours. You might light a candle and you'll just read by candlelight.
Mm.
Or you'll pray. Or whatever. But that was kind of how leisure was approached back then. And then nobody works on Sunday. You don't so much as touch a plow on Sunday. Or any holy day. Basically it's the fields will be okay for one day.
Mm-hmm.
Go to mass. Pray. Go to the festival. And sing and dance with your family. Now, there are also times of the year where there are extended festivals. German societies celebrate Oktoberfest. And that's usually a celebration of the end of the last harvest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We have done our last harvest. We have sustained ourselves through the summer. We have set aside enough to sustain ourselves for the winter. Now let's take what's left and make a bunch of beer. And let's make a lot of sausage. And let's sing and dance for a week. And there are other times when you might do this too. It's not just necessarily at parts of year. Weddings in a lot of places are like this.
Okay.
There are countries where a wedding lasts 3 days. Because they're eating, drinking, they're dancing, they're celebrating, and that is worth celebrating. Because a new family has just been created. A new family has just been born. And now there's going to be children coming out of them. Hopefully. Like that is something that is worth celebrating. That's why most societies celebrated weddings with a lot of drinking, a lot of dancing. And that also is a form of leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes you away from your day's work, your menial labor, and your servile work. Because you're resting your mind from your worries and your cares. And on Sunday, you're taking it to our Lord. And you're thinking about our Lord. On holy days, you're thinking about whoever the holy day is for, about Our Lady or about one of the saints. During a festival, it's whatever the festival is about. Oktoberfest, you're just happy the harvest is over.
Mm-hmm.
During a wedding, you're there and you're thinking and you're happy for the people who just got married. And it was the whole town. The whole village is there. Everyone is there. Depending on how important the bride and or groom are, people from other towns come in. If you've ever been to a small town parish picnic, you know what I mean. Particularly if there are parishes in your area that have really good parish picnics. My parish has one in the spring, one in the summer, one in the fall.
Oh, nice.
We might have one in the winter too. People from other towns come to our parish picnic. And folks from our parish will go to their parish picnics. Because in that little area, it's all a bunch of German communities. So they're German, so they know how to party, and they're Catholic, so they know how to party even more. Basically, they all go to each other's parish picnics. They know how to celebrate, and they're there to celebrate and just be together. So we haven't completely lost it, but it has almost slipped away.
I mean, as you say it, you're describing such a simple, healthy life. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, this is so foreign to me. Like, I take that in, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do with that.
That's why a lot of people actually were opposed to an 8-hour workday, because 8 hours of working straight without stopping was a foreign concept to most people. And even in an 8-hour workday, you're given breaks. The way it at least should be done is you work for 2 hours, you break, you work for 2 hours, you have lunch, you work for 2 hours, you break again, and then you work for another 2 hours, and then you go home.
Because that's what, the law says you have to have.
It's what the law says you have to have, but the law says that partly because human nature kind of demands it. Is that no man is meant to work, but man is not meant to work constantly.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the simple life of work and prayer. The Benedictine way. To pray and to work.
Ora et labora.
That's having the proper balance of work and leisure.